Cervical cancer is the fourth most common cancer among women in the world, and India accounts for 16% of these cases. Yet, our knowledge about the cancer is rather limited, and very few women in India are screened on time. The good part is that it is completely preventable and treatable if diagnosed on time. We are joined today by Dr. Kanika Batra Modi, who's a consultant gynecologic oncologist at Max Hospital. So, welcome, Dr. Kanika, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Saki. Pleasure to be here.
So we'll start with the very basics. Who is at risk of cervical cancer?
So first we need to understand what part of the body is cervix. Cervix is the lower part of the uterus. So any woman is basically at risk for cervical cancer. Specifically, the higher risk groups include women who are infected with HPV virus. So HPV is the human papilloma virus, which accounts for over 90% cases of cervical cancer. So how does one get this HPV virus infection? So any sexually active woman who has a sexual partner can be infected with the HPV virus. And having, sexual intercourse at an early age with, sexual promiscuity and having partners who have other multiple partners increase your risk of having HPV. Then not using condoms during the sexual act also increase your risk of having STDs, which further enhance the transmission of HPV virus. Then apart from this, using basically having immunocompromised conditions which suppress your immunity, like HIV or other debilitating conditions, they increase your risk of having cervical cancer. Risk of cervical cancer. And similarly, there are many other conditions like using prolonged oral contraceptive pills for over 5 years are also known to have increased effects for, propagating the HPV virus. There are some studies which implicate that. So any woman who is sexually active is at an increased risk of cervical cancer with these high risk groups.
And doctor, are there certain age groups that are more at risk or more vulnerable?
Yes. So, cervical cancer has got a bimodal age presentation, meaning women at two age groups are at an increased risk. See, all throughout, when a woman is sexually active, they are at risk. But after the age of 30 and after the age of 60, the incidence peaks.
All right. And are there any signs and symptoms of cervical cancer that can help us detect it?
Yeah. So usually it is a very silent kind of a disease, but some symptoms, subtle symptoms that are there can help you diagnose, suspect basically cervical cancer. So any form of abnormal bleeding, that is having bleeding in between your cycle, or post-coital bleeding, that is having bleeding after a sexual activity, then having continuous vaginal discharge, which is of increased amount, foul smell. These are symptoms of cervical cancer. These are vague symptoms that might suggest cervical cancer. Then apart from this, having a lower backache, which is just continuously there, can also be present.
And doctor, is it preventable? And if yes, what is it that a woman needs to do?
So cervical cancer is definitely preventable. It is, one of the cancers which have a long latent period. As in, if somebody is infected with HPV virus, it takes about 10 to 15 years usually for it to develop. The long course of history that is there gives us ample amount of time to pick up the abnormal cells from the cervix. So what can we do to prevent cervical cancer? So there are certain guidelines which are laid down to get pap smear done for women. Pap smear and HPV testing form the core foundation of how cervical cancer can be prevented. So what happens is, if after a woman is sexually active, from the age of 21 years, one needs to get a pap smear done. Pap smear is just a small test. It's just like, how one does a swab test. It's a small test that is done. There's a smear that is taken from the cervix. That's like, a gynecologist just does a pelvic examination and just takes a smear of cells. That are the cells that are already shed out. And those are then analyzed, and any abnormal cells that are noted accordingly, one gives the report, and further things like further testing with HPV testing, which is human papilloma virus testing, or colposcopy or further biopsy is done accordingly. So before cervical cancer develops, there are three stages of precancerous lesions of the cervix that can be detected, which is cervical intraepithelial neoplasia, which is a precancerous condition of the cervix. So 1, 2, 3, these are the grades of the precancerous lesions, and they can be detected during those long latent period of 10 to 15 years. So if a woman is regular in getting pap smear, so I'm not saying pap smear is 100% protective. The sensitivity of pap smear is in fact quite low. It's about 60 to 70%. But repeatedly getting the pap smear and showing yourself and getting other visualization of the cervix done, and along with that HPV testing after the age of 30 years, that is also known to increase the sensitivity of pap smear. So if one gets all these things in place, then the chances of picking up smaller lesions which are precancerous increases. And this is definitely one of the cancers for which we have a very good screening practice that is available.
And doctor, if you could also lay down the number of times or how often a woman should get screened and
Yeah.
get these tests done age-wise.
Right. So from the age of 21 years after a woman is sexually active, so if suppose a woman gets sexually active at the age of 27, so after the age of 27, she needs to get the testing done. If a woman is sexually active at 15 years of age, then also she needs to get testing after the age of 21. These are the international norms that are laid down. From 21 years onwards, every 3 yearly till the age of 30. And then from 30 year onwards, one can get co-testing with HPV done. That is a pap smear along with HPV testing done. Both these things done alongside. And if they are normal, one can go from instead of 3 years to every 5 yearly. So your gynecologist would let you know if your previous tests are normal, then you can kind of go on to 5 yearly screening.
All right, thank you, doctor. Could you also elaborate a bit about the HPV vaccination and if it is 100% prevention technique for cervical cancer?
Yes. So nothing is 100% preventable, but yes, HPV vaccines are known to reduce the risk of cervical cancer by about 80 to 90%. And what is the ideal time to give HPV vaccine is when a woman it's actually to a girl child from 9 years to age to 45. These are the norms laid by the US FDA, although I do not recommend it to women who are sexually active already because the efficacy is reduced. It wouldn't be as protective. So a girl from the age of 9 years till she's sexually active, typically one gives these HPV vaccines, and HPV vaccine needs to be taken in 2 doses. It's an extremely safe vaccine, very good efficacy, and there have been multiple trials which have shown the efficacy. So from 9 to 15 years, one needs to take 2 doses. After 15 years, like the Indian Academy of Pediatrics, it recommends 3 doses, although there are many trials which suggest that 2 doses are also good enough. So it's a 2 versus 3 choice after that. But yes, they are extremely effective to the tune of 80 to 90% to prevent cervical cancer. But at the same time, one can get cervical cancer even after getting vaccinated because it's not 100%. We need to understand that. And the vaccine, after the vaccine also, you need to get the screening done by pap smear just as anybody else would, just as the population otherwise who's not received HPV vaccination would. So it's very important to keep getting your cervical smears, pap smears, HPV testing done despite having been vaccinated.
All right. So, doctor, we have questions from our viewers. The first one is, should the vaccine be given to boys as well?
So in a economy like ours, it's we are mostly focusing on giving it to girl child, and giving it to boys comes a little later. Although in a few countries like Australia and even parts of Canada and US, they are giving it to boys as well, saying that it reduces the risk of penile cancers, anal cancers, and certain head and neck cancers in men also. But as a country policy, we do not give it to boys yet.
All right. So another question we have is are the chances of getting cervical cancer higher due to multiple pregnancies or abortions, or is sexually active or inactive?
Hmm.
Can sexual activity or inactivity be a reason for cervical cancer?
So, having multiple pregnancies with the same partner is not an increased risk, neither is abortions per se. But, being sexually active at an early age and having multiple sexual partners is the thing that increases your chance of cervical cancer by, increased chances of introduction of HPV virus.
And doctor, apart from HPV virus, are there also other causes that may contribute to increasing your risk, except having other conditions in terms of lifestyle, lifestyle habits or dietary requirements? Are there also these factors that contribute?
So there is no direct relation as such, but obviously, having a healthier diet is known to increase your immunity, and having, being well fed on all vitamins and minerals
Hmm.
increases your immunity. And we have the direct corollary that being immunocompromised increases your risk of being persistently infected with HPV virus. So, any and every woman, like, approximately 80% of the women would get HPV infection during their,
Hmm.
once they're sexually active. But most of the women are able to clear off this HPV virus. So, having a positive HPV is not a sinister sign that you will develop cervical cancer. Most of the women have the ability to clear off the virus, but persistence of virus is known to be, problematic. So, consumption of antioxidants, giving up on smoking, and giving up on oral contraceptive pills if you're on them, and getting a healthier lifestyle into place, and doing proper exercises, they are all known to increase your immunity.
Hmm.
So, doing that would indirectly help you get rid of the virus from the system. And women who have HPV infection, they're given, so there are trials going on giving them certain kinds of yeah, antioxidants, lycopenes, folic acids to increase their chance of getting rid of the virus, the HPV virus.
And once cervical cancer is detected, and if it's detected early, what is the treatment like? Is it like all other cancers, or is it, because you said it's more treatable?
So, like any other cancer in the body, the younger you catch them, the higher the
Hmm.
chances of cure are. So, if you detect cervical cancer at an early stage, there are chances of, treating it very well. Early stage, stage one, stage, like, we have customizations according to what stage the surgery forms the mainstay in earlier stages of cancer. Then, in case that it's a little advanced, we go ahead with chemotherapy and radiation therapy, which help to take care of the slightly advanced cancers. So it's not like a blanket rule, but a customized treatment, seeing the patient condition, the biology of the tumor, and what
Hmm.
stage the person is in.
Uh, what are the chances of recurrence in cervical cancer? Is a question.
So, depends again on the biology and the stage one is in. So, stage one has got, 20% chances of recurrence. At the same
Hmm.
side, stage three cervical cancer has about 50 to 60% chances of recurrences. So, again, depends upon what stage, how well it has responded to treatment, that all these things guide us towards exactly understanding and prognosticating a particular patient as to how much are their chances of recurrence.
All right, doctor. As a parting note, would you like to say anything about the state of cervical cancer screening in India and what needs to be done?
Yes, we need to understand that, being in a developing economy and seeing the statistics of our country, although the incidence of cervical cancer is reducing, thankfully, in our country, still there is a chance of, 1 in 53 women in India developing cervical cancer, compared to 1 in 100 women developing cervical cancer in the rest of the world. And we know it is one cancer which is preventable. We have screening methods intact. We know that adoption of a healthier sexual practice is something that can help us prevent these HPV infections, having, taking all the supplements and giving up on smoking and avoiding certain situations to be in, we know that all these things in combination can help prevent cancer. But definitely getting a pap smear and getting HPV virus tested in yourself is are these are very important steps that are known to prevent cervical cancer. You can catch the precancerous lesions before cervical cancer develops. So why not avail them? Just give up on the taboo of, getting yourself tested and all. Just go ahead and get a pap smear. That's just the need of the hour in our country. And give your, younger girls vaccines. That is
Yeah.
also known to prevent cervical cancer.